Okay. You guys get sunglasses today. This is gonna be part 2 for me talking about SCP campaign I just started DMing. I say campaign. It's technically a campaign, but it's going to be much more like episodic instead of like a weekly or bi-weekly thing. It's kind of going to be like, I guess we play it like in between other games. There's no like set schedule, and it's going to be like kind of, I'm going to call it mission based, which it's essentially like a collection of 1 or 2 shots, 1 to 3 shots, just like kind of like mini adventures that keep happening, and then there's quote downtime in between where they return to base. It's technically a campaign, but it's going to be, the progression, the pacing is going to be a bit weird. So first, in addition to everything I talked about in the last part, now I want to kind of go over, I guess, more of the characters and kind of how they're all kind of how they're being worked in together, because I gave all the players pretty much free reign to do more or less whatever they wanted for their character creation. Like, I reminded them all that this is a very human-centric world, or it's not a human-centric world, it's the modern world. So if they want to play a non-human, they can. Either just for mechanics, like, they'll be a human, but they want to have a dragonborn breath weapon, so they can just pick a dragonborn, but they're aesthetically and narratively a human with dragon breath, with some elemental affinity. Oh, cool, some traffic. But most of the players went with human anyway. One of the players is playing a halfling mechanically, but they're just a short person. So that's pretty funny. So first, we have the 2 members. No, there's only. Okay, yeah, there's 2 characters that are part of the Foundation. And those would be, first, Gershwin Idlebaum, a life cleric who's like a Foundation medic soldier. And all of this character's spells are reflavored to be varying, like, tech, like, low, what do you call it? Like low priority or low... What's the word I'm looking for? Low risk anomalies, like like a little anomalous healing ability or something like that. But it's mostly like an anomalous property put into like a glove or into a medical dart that you can shoot at through like a wrist launcher, or I forget how the player exactly worded it, but like one of their ability, like for healing word, they either throw or they shoot a little medical dart that delivers like a quick blend of like morphine and some other drugs that encourage healing, and it's just hit points. Like, I mean, even because of the way hit points work, you can still just have it. It's a bolt of morphine that makes you feel a little better, but it doesn't actually heal you. Like, it doesn't heal wounds, but it's how hit points work. And that's kind of how everything is. Like, it's all various concoctions of drugs and quick stitches, and like their spiritual weapon is an attack drone that has a buzzsaw on it for some reason. But it's all stuff like that. And this character's also really entertaining in how they're basically a super high functioning alcoholic / drug addict. Like, they're always taking something, drug blends that they do themselves, and they know exactly the effect that is going to happen. So, like, in particular, utilizing the life cleric feature of whenever you heal someone, you get a little help. Like that quick morphine dart. The character just shot one. It was like, one for you. They take out one. Mix it. One for me. It was really goofy, but very enjoyable for a character like that. Otherwise, they have they've got a submachine gun, a whipped up, a shotgun, and they've got a stun baton, like an electric baton, which I talked a little bit about in the previous part. But that's mostly it for them. But then the next one is Dr. Daly, the short person. They're an alchemist artificer, and they're a Foundation researcher, and they mostly have like a really mad scientist vibe. The character is a protege of Dr. Clef in some capacity. We haven't super figured that out, but not important. They've got a life/spell draining sickle, like magic draining sickle that they use, and there's some hints in that weapon's description that I gave, that exactly where it comes from. But that one was a gift from Dr. Clef. And something I did want to mention: this character is very LOL Foundation, and for anybody who doesn't know what that means, it's not an insult. It is a period. It's a writing period on the wiki. I forget exactly when it was. I think it was around 2010. I don't explicitly remember, but it was a period of time where most of the writing had an extremely lighthearted, humorous tone, and in particular, the doctors were doing all sorts of nonsense, like, riding 682 through the halls, just all sorts of friggin' nonsense. Like, the horror was taking a real backseat during this time. And this researcher kind of reminds me of that kind of attitude a little bit, which I think is a good thing. Otherwise, nothing hugely else about this character. They got artificer stuff. Hasn't really shown much of it off. Player had some ideas for some stuff that we haven't really fleshed out yet, like a charged flaming sphere, like using the flaming sphere spell to do some sort of charge attack. But I don't know what kind of mechanic she's looking for. Go over that sooner or later, and they'll show it off next time. But the next character is Richter Laszlo, who is a member of the Serpent's Hand and spends a lot of his time in the Wanderer's Library. They're an arcane trickster rogue, and their main shtick is they're kind of wandering, sort of Renaissance man type, wants to learn about everything. Pretty bleeding heart as well, always wants to help, but easily distracted. Some personality quirks like that. Otherwise, pretty standard arcane trickster rogue. Has a special rapier I made them that I believe I talked about in the last part. Otherwise, like, their main narrative is that they're able to open and utilize ways, which are portals or wormholes in this kind of setting. Wormholes isn't really the right word, but they're portals that are kind of erratic and they show up in weird places and they're not open forever. But this character can influence them and utilize them. Also, he kind of acts as a consultant for the Foundation. In addition to not only in like the use of ways, but also when it comes to power pharmacology, which we haven't gone into, and I don't know if we ever will. But it's just a little backstory quirk. Next up is Calvin Coolidge the Third, or Bryce Calvin Coolidge. Bryce Calvin Coolidge the Third. aka Trey Cool, who is an eloquence bard, and he's a Instagram influencer. It's fucking nonsense, but he might be the single most entertaining character because he's just super fucked up. Like, he's just super, how do I want to put it? Like, just super, like, nonchalant and, like, not really, he's a total fuckboy, doesn't really know what's going on, is always asking to like and share and smash that fucking subscribe button, all that kind of nonsense, just hamming it up constantly, has a sentient cane that will hold the character's phone while they're taking a selfie or while they're doing stuff in combat, and I'm pretty sure I'm going to make their phone their spellcasting focused. So this character's nonsense. And like, even like during this first encounter when they're fighting a bunch of 1678-A instances, you know, the bobbies, when the player got the first kill, or their first kill on it, like, all right, how you doing? And then she just like did, like, I envision it like the Dante cross their two pistols, say fuck the police, and kill the thing. That's perfect. And the final character is a Horizon Walker Ranger that is a member of the Horizon Initiative. Irish devout Catholic dude. Well, I guess effectively the straight man of the party. Not that Richter Laszlo character is like super goofy or out there, but this guy's Carson McLaughlin. I forget the exact last name. I'm trying to remember it. I can't remember it. So I pronounced it. It's not McLaughlin. But yeah, Horizon Walker Ranger, member of the Horizon Initiative, which I wasn't super prepared to include, but now I have to. So the Horizon Initiative, for anybody who doesn't know, like all the other groups of, oh wait, I forgot to mention the Bard, the Instagram influencer, is technically part of How Are We Cool Yet, but you know how that GOI is. But this Carson, the Horizon Initiative guy, he's a devout Catholic. He's a wolf of that organization that is working with the Foundation. We whipped up this character essentially at the last minute. Like, we finished it. Me and the player finished it in like 3 hours before session. So he's slightly bare bones, but I'm gonna give him some lore. I'm gonna give him some stuff, like a main mission and why he's working with the Foundation. But the Horizon Initiative works with the Foundation very frequently. Like, they're much closer to like allies than Serpent's Hand character, or the Serpent's Hand is, which they're kind of like tenuously neutral. So yeah. Otherwise, I homebrewed him. He's got a rifle. I homebrewed him some cool like poisoning spears that like it's like a poison that it acts really similar to Hunter's Mark. It gives you some, what do you call it? It gives you the ability to, or it gives you advantage on like tracking versus poisoned targets for a little while, even after the poison wears off. I think I gotta flesh out the fine tune the mechanics a little bit, but otherwise he's pretty. Not a whole lot to say about this character yet. Personality isn't super defined. He's a little bit of a dickhead so far, but that's, again, he's the straight man. He's a dickhead straight man. So it's just that's just a thing, you know. But otherwise, Yeah, was there anything I forgot to mention? I did intend there to be another NPC for them to deal with, but I ended up cutting him out for now. He's going to show up in the next mission, because I definitely want him to feel more like a later addition to the group. And by giving this first mission a chance to play out, the players and characters to get a bit more of a chance to like know each other, then this other NPC that acts as their communication coordinator is going to. So he'll come in later, and he'll feel like a little bit more of an outsider, just a little bit. He's still going to be with them for like the majority of missions, and he's not a combatant. He stays back. Oftentimes, he's actually back at the Site 27 base. Like he doesn't even go out into the field with them because of a particular anomalous set of communication devices they have, which I'll be setting up in the next mission. But yeah, because I didn't want to clog it up with too many NPCs, especially for now, because that was NPCs was my biggest not fear, not anxiety, like that was the thing I was most concerned about, like effectively running several different NPCs, because I talked about it before, like for me when I'm playing a character, it takes me a little while to get into it, so I was worried it was going to be the same thing with NPCs, but luckily it wasn't the case. Otherwise, yeah, not a whole lot else I can really think of. Besides, like, I think some of the unique mechanics I was using worked well. I'm gonna write a few more things. I gotta write more stuff down and flesh some more things out. But as far as I can tell, everyone really enjoyed it and it went well. So, yeah, I mean the encounter, the combat was like essentially the biggest thing of the what do you call it? Of the session. So. About it. So I'll be uploading these pretty much right away. And, yeah.